Awesome. Hello. Hi, Jay. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Allison?
Good, good. Thank you. So I am blessed to be on a call today with Jay at UpLift, UpLift Fitness. And why I wanted to come on here is Jay and I have had an opportunity to work together. And through learning some of his story, his growth, he has an incredible business. I was really inspired by the moves that he has made and the journey he's been on, and really want to have a real conversation about that journey because I know, I don't say I believe, I was about to say I believe. I know that when all of us share our story and share the vulnerability in our story, that it can encourage and inspire one person to make the next big, bold move in their life. So
Yeah,
thank you, Jay, for agreeing to come on today.
yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
it. Yes. I was just speaking to Jay before we hit record on this and just telling him that I really want it to be an organic conversation because I think those are the best kind. That being said, I think it's important to lead in and give a little bit of context. Jay, I'll maybe let you introduce UpLift and talk a little bit about your incredible company.
Yeah, so I started UpLift Fitness over 6 years ago. Our first location located in Burnaby. I used to work as a nurse for 10 plus years and was working as a nurse when I started the business. Have a real huge passion, which then became a purpose of wanting to help people through health and fitness and personal training. Um, I saw that the personal training system that people are used to was a little, there's an area where there's a lot of things being missed. And I wanted to introduce a system where every client had felt, felt accommodated to, felt like they were being served really well, and didn't just feel like a number. So from that, uh, through hard work and grit, we've opened up over 3 other locations,
Yeah.
some of which we had to unfortunately close. But the numbers in clients and the numbers in trainers have grown since then,
Yeah.
um, and which led me to uh, a, a plateau in my business and within my career where I wanted something more, and I knew deep down inside there was things that I needed to change, and I didn't know how to approach that, which is why I reached out to you guys,
Yeah.
and that's when things started to really change for me and my business. Yes.
I love that. And you know what is so amazing about the story is there's two significant periods in time in which you've made big shifts, going
Yes.
from a completely separate career and really recognizing that it's maybe not aligned with who you are today. It might have been a previous version of you, but it wasn't aligned today, and you recognize that you could make an impact. And then again, recognizing that there's a period of growth, but then there's a moment, and that's actually really the only kind of question I had, is because we get to, like you said, this moment where it's like, some call it plateau, monotony, complacency. There's many words for it. But what changed for you or shifted for you where you didn't just hit that, or maybe you did for a length of time, but you decided to actually make the move and recognize that, you know what, if I aligned some support in this area, it would could help me.
So when it came to my nursing, um, it was good. I mean, it was great money to salary wise that I was receiving as a nurse, but it just didn't. I was dwelling on the decision of what I needed to do for almost a year,
Mm.
and I realized that it was actually taking away from my purpose and my passion, which was the fitness side. And so, you know what, I spoke to a lot of people who I looked up to and a lot of my closest ones, and I realized that, hey man, it's all of this time that I'm spending at my nursing job, it was actually taking away from my purpose and my passion here at UpLift.
Mm.
So I had to make the decision of having to
Yeah.
quit that entire career
Yeah.
that I've spent so many hours and months and years
And
on
education.
obtaining and education,
Yeah.
and to leave it fully. And it was probably one of the best and biggest decisions I've ever made. Um, but it definitely helped the business grow
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And then again, you made another shift, like you said, 6.5 years into the business,
Yeah.
hiring support, right? Aligning yourself with, other people who've been in the industry and are now helping people within the health and fitness industry grow and expand their businesses. What was the shift that happened for you where, again, because many people, again, outside looking in, it's perceived successful, right?
Mhm.
And you can look at it and think, okay, well, I've got clients, I've got numbers, but there was something in you at that moment also that led you into seeking support, seeking help in your business.
Um, the money that we were receiving for the past 6 years, I mean, it's grown to a point where I've personally become comfortable with how it was running, but I always knew that it could run smoother. I always knew that it could run better. And I sought out the support from you and Eddie because of the posts that you guys were creating was really resonating with me.
Okay.
You guys spoke about the endless hours of the exchange for time and money that I'm currently doing, or I was doing, I should say.
Yes.
And
Hold on.
yeah, yeah, that I was doing,
Yeah.
working back to backs, not having enough time for myself.
Yeah.
Um, just just selling my time for a specific dollar amount, in hopes that I could get ahead. But I knew, and sitting down and having to calculate, I really wasn't getting ahead at all.
Yeah.
And I know everyone's definition of getting ahead is different, but I I wanted to put myself into a position where I was doing excellent in life versus just being comfortable.
I love that. And what's interesting, what you said is everybody's definition of that is different. And more times than not, we aren't financially driven. That being said, we come into something knowing that we want to expand it, and we can, but I've shared from the beginning, financial success is an outcome of having the right pieces in place, right? Having the right motivation or why behind the reason you want to do it. No one wants to weigh 150 pounds. They
That's
want
right.
the lifestyle or the energy, the experiences they believe is attached to a certain healthy weight for them. It's the same
Yeah.
with money. And what you continually shared again is just, lifestyle, time, give was a huge, heart-led
Mhm.
driver for you, and being able to have those pieces in place. But we still need to recognize, and again, that in that outcome of having more financial freedom, we are also have the capacity to have flexibility in our hours, to have a schedule that actually suits how we want to live,
That's
as
right.
opposed to the other way around.
And that's huge.
It
The
is huge.
scheduling was huge, for any personal trainer that's out there, and you guys are grinding away. You guys all know how it feels like to work back to backs, having to wake up at 4 a.m., train clients from 5 a.m. all the way up to 6 p.m. or 7 or 8
Yeah.
with hardly any breaks.
Yeah.
I know there's a ton of personal trainers out there, and I used to live like that,
Mhm.
and I no longer do not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
very
think
simple.
well, right before we hit record, you had said I wrote it down there. You said, I've got my dream schedule right now.
Yes, yes, I do.
And
I
I
have
think,
no dream schedule.
yeah. And what's important, like I said, when I was trying to just jot down some notes before we came on, what I wrote down was what can change in 30 days. Because this has not been a 3-year long journey.
No.
It hasn't even been it hasn't even been a 3-month journey.
Yeah, yeah.
It's what can change in 30 days. And I think that's really important. And maybe you could speak to it a little bit, because on maybe our second or third phone call, you had said something to the effect of, what was so amazing was that I didn't come in, or Eddie and I didn't come in and disrupt your business. We recognized areas in which you could fine tune and monetize at a greater capacity.
So yeah, we've had, I mean, it's not like I haven't tried systems out to get UpLift to where it is financially today. But I knew that with your guys' expertise, you guys would be able to look into the business model, the business system, there, see where I may have been lacking with respect to the way I looked at things.
Yeah.
And so during your program, you guys looked into it, and within just a couple of days, you guys had seen cracks that I may have just overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys had made tweaks, small tweaks that have made a world of a difference for the business, and which we're continuing to use to this day.
Yeah.
Where my entire team of 20 staff were all on board right away. And we're no longer struggling to try and sell sessions. We're just selling sessions. That's just what it is now. And you guys, yeah, I mean, I don't know what better way to say it. You guys have definitely refined the system, but all it took was for someone like myself to be open to it, and just to implement what you guys have suggested.
Yeah.
And I'm huge on, if I am seeking out support and seeking out mentorship, I'm huge on taking everything that you guys say as golden nuggets, because I know that's what you guys are there for, is for that support, for things that I may have missed, things that I may have overlooked, and for the betterment of my entire business, which, I mean, we're seeing results already, right? And that's what makes me happy, because I would have never seen it the way you guys have seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was so many little key nuggets in that. And looking at, I think something I want to circle back to first off is just, yes, you implemented, and I would say instantly, the moment we got off a call together or face-to-face, our immersion day together, you went and took action, which, again, change doesn't happen unless we take action, right? So it's not just that, we met and you went away and you waited for things to change without implementing the suggestions. But it also goes to the very first step. And the very first step is saying yes. And the very first step is investing. And that can be very scary, where,
yeah, 100%.
Right. And that's scary no matter what we are stepping into. But I think the key also is recognizing investment. And that's the same with your clients coming into your business. They're not paying for a session, they're investing into their own health, their own result, what they want to be experiencing. And, to say that first big yes, to invest financially, is a big commitment, and often can be a resistance point for people in making decisions into what they want to be experiencing. So I think that's important, again, in what you shared, and looking at the time frame. And we were talking 30 days, that there's been massive shift. Well, you said it, like, things shifted in a couple of days. Yeah. So recognizing again and taking this little bit, whoever's listening, that if something is aligned with what you want to be experiencing, it is never costing you money.
No, it's not. Yeah. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
please go.
I completely agree with you. I knew, put it this way, I knew I needed help, and I knew I wanted my business to skyrocket. I reached out to you guys because I knew that you guys knew something that I did not. I knew that you guys would come in and take a look at my business in ways that I would have never looked at it before. And because of that, money wasn't the question. It was just, hey, I need you guys' help. Please show me how it's done. And the investment part of it, of investing into the program, you will make that investment back. And I can assure you, and I can bet my entire business, if you just follow the mentorship and you implement the suggestions, you actually take action. I got I got my returns back plus more. I can say thousands more within 48 hours.
Yeah.
And I need to state that, right? Within 48 hours. And I'm very much the type, if I love learning from the best. So when you guys started giving me the suggestions and the small changes to make, I made them right away. And because of that, I started seeing a return plus more.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't a question of how much.
Yeah.
It was more so, is this formula going to work? And clearly it has. Right?
Yes. Yeah. No, and thank you so much for sharing that. And just a couple, because I always have a couple key points, but to, like, takeaways from that again is the actual measurable amount. Yes, within 48 hours, again, is returned, and that is amazing. But it really is, again, the implementing through resistance or through fear, or through the unknown, because stepping into something we don't know is scary. Often we can take a step of, okay, I'll say yes to something, but then again, having a resistance of not implementing. So recognizing that also how we are set up, we give the structure, but we also provide the support. And however much someone leads into it, it can be every day, it can be once a week, whatever that is. And I think that's important. And even again, how we've structured and restructured some of how you work with a lot of your VIP clients, you're there to support them because we can get in our own way.
Yeah.
But also, again, there is that actual, I invested this much, I got back this much, plus. But confidence is something you've shared with me. There's been, regardless of its relevance or not, a fear of paying bills every month. Right? Again, regardless of its relevance, they were real challenges that you were experiencing. And you can't put dollars to those things.
That's true. And you guys have taught me that. And I think it was even just out of habit, having to worry about, 3 locations one time with three different leases, almost adding up to almost $20,000 a month is the type of personal trainer that I was.
Yeah.
And I no longer, after your guys' coaching and mentorship, I don't remember how that feels like. Yeah. So it's huge, right?
Honestly, those are the biggest shifts, and my whys. They really are, to take that, because again, now that energy is freed up, where it goes is endless. Right?
Yes.
With possibilities and experiences. And that's really what it's all about. And I love it. So I really want to thank you for taking the time today, for sharing some of your story. I just want to give you the floor before we wrap it up. And just, if you have a word for somebody who's considering, if a thought, just whatever you might like to share. And yes, my dog is poking in on our phone call.
That's fine. As a personal trainer, I know that there are a lot of coaches and mentors out there. Trust me, I'm the type of person that does my homework too. I can bet my entire business that there's no one else better to hire than Allison and Eddie. And I'll tell you this now, you could come visit me if you're in the Vancouver area or Burnaby. And if you want to discuss further about how well their coaching is, I'd love to sit down and talk with you guys about how it changed my entire business. and how we're still using the suggestions they made to this day, and how we are going to be the biggest brand out here,
Yes.
hopefully in Canada soon. Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you for
Yeah.
those
Thank
kind
you.
words. It has been just absolutely such an experience, an incredible experience being on this journey with you. And are blessed to have had that opportunity. And if you are looking to transform your health, your body, your energy, your life, he's your guy. So
I'm your guy.
Absolutely the same breath. Contact us if you're not sure, because we know exactly where to send you.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jay. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.